Have you ever stood in the same room as your spouse yet felt miles apart? You both love Jesus. You both love each other. But a quiet tension has crept in, not from a fight, but from small, unspoken moments. The tired sigh, the chore left undone, the unmet expectation, tiny fractures that slowly widen the gap. Many Christian couples know this feeling. The warmth fades, replaced by routine. In this silence, the enemy whispers lies, magnifying flaws, fueling disappointment. But this distance isn't the end. God sees you both and hasn't abandoned you. The path back isn't about grand gestures. It starts with a quiet decision to close the distance, one small step at a time. Even the smallest act of reaching out can begin to bridge the gap. Our culture says, look out for number one. Prioritize your happiness, keep score, demand fairness. But Jesus calls us to something radically different. In God's kingdom, the greatest is the servant. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. In marriage, we're called to lay down our rights and expectations for the good of our spouse and the glory of God. The world's pattern is selfishness. God's pattern is transformation. The question shifts from, what am I getting, to what can I give? When we embrace this mindset, the goal becomes unity, peace, and reflecting Christ's love. Marriage is where we practice daily self-denial and follow Jesus, right at home. We rarely admit to being selfish. Instead, selfishness wears clever disguises. It shows up as fairness, keeping score, building walls of resentment. It masquerades as self-care, but sometimes it's just emotional withdrawal. It hides behind logic, insisting on being right even if it means losing connection. These small, justified choices, refusing to serve, withholding affection, insisting on our way, slowly push Christ out of the center. The danger isn't loud selfishness, but the quiet, reasonable kind that erodes intimacy. Every time we choose self over unity, we conform to the world's pattern. True marriage is a covenant, not a transaction. The antidote? Recognize these disguises and choose grace instead. Only then can we build bridges of connection. So how do we fight back? It starts with a 1-second surrender. In that split second when frustration rises, you can choose, react, or surrender to Jesus. Instead of lashing out, silently pray, Jesus, take this. Help me respond with grace. This is real-time self-denial, letting Christ lead, not your feelings. Each 1-second surrender is a spiritual act, inviting peace into potential conflict. It stops the cycle of reaction and opens the door for real communication. When you surrender your right to be right, you free yourself to love without strings. These small moments of surrender swing wide the door for God's power to transform your heart and your marriage. It's not weakness, but spirit-empowered strength. The journey back to connection is built one surrendered moment at a time. Practicing 1-second surrender changes everything. Grace replaces scorekeeping. Your spouse feels seen, not judged. Your surrender invites them to lower their walls and respond in kind. True connection is rebuilt in these small daily choices: listening, serving, understanding. You don't have to wait for your spouse to change or for perfect circumstances. Renewal starts now with your next choice to love as Christ loves. The power to transform your marriage is found in a renewed mind and a surrendered heart. In every moment of choice, choose to deny self and love sacrificially. That's where the coldness thaws and true joy is found.